Some will see it as visionary. Others will say, wait a minute, if I want to invest in Bitcoins, I'll do it directly. I don't need Tesla to do it for me.
Welcome back, friends, for one more update from the world of EV stocks. In case you're new to this channel, please do consider subscribing. And if you live in the United States, you can get 2 free shares worth up to $1,850 just by following the link in the description. Now enjoy the rest of the video.
Tesla surprised investors a couple of months ago by converting $1.5 billion from their balance sheet into Bitcoin. Though initially there were critics of this move, eventually people realized what a brilliant move it was from the Tesla management. What the Bitcoin investment essentially means is that, when Bitcoin price goes up, Tesla adds more cash flow into their balance sheet. That helps the stock price in two ways. Firstly, it's like Tesla made some additional net profit out of thin air. Secondly, because of the expected appreciation in Bitcoin's value in future, Tesla should now not need to do any more share dilutions if and when they needed to raise more cash. The appreciations on their initial Bitcoin investment can take care of that. That gives a lot of extra confidence to the Tesla investors, and gives potentially more room to the stock to run up further. We think we saw this crucial factor play out this last week too. While Nio, as well as almost all other EV stocks, were down deep in red, Tesla was the one stock that either didn't fall too much, or was moving up. We think the price movement in Tesla stock was significantly tied to the fact that Bitcoin had a positive week last week.
Reaction, first of all, on this headline of the day. Two factors for it. One, does it continue to build momentum in Bitcoin and Tesla, I guess, or does it potentially mark the top? And should a company be doing this if it is indeed speculation and as an investment, as opposed to preparing for transactional purposes?
Thank you. The first question is easier. Yes, it will continue to build momentum. What did Tesla tell you? Two things. One is that this will be a form of payment, and two is that this is an investment vehicle. So those are two powerful endorsements for the notion, I want to stress the notion, that Bitcoins are a currency, are money. Because after all, money is a store of value, money is a form of payments. So yes, that will build further momentum. As to the reaction, it's going to be all over the place. Some will see it as visionary. Others will say, wait a minute, if I want to invest in Bitcoins, I'll do it directly. I don't need Tesla to do it for me. And by the way, shouldn't Tesla be in cash management? Bitcoins are way too volatile for cash management. So you're going to see a whole range of reactions. But for Bitcoin holders, today is good news for them.
I guess, Mohammed, one common thread behind all of this is debasement of traditional currencies. Does just the further endorsement of their alternative increase momentum behind the downside argument for things like the dollar?
Maybe at the margin, but I don't think is a consequential effect. But what is consequential is that the argument for Bitcoins is evolving. It used to be a negative argument. You don't trust the system, invest in Bitcoins. You're afraid about inflation, about debasement, invest in Bitcoin. Yields are too low on treasuries. Put Bitcoin in your risk mitigation bucket. Now, suddenly, we have those reasons, and Tesla says there are positive reasons. Form of payment, investment vehicles. So that is the pivot, Wilfred, and that's why you're seeing Bitcoin prices at 44,000.
What's your take, Mohammed, on the very quick bounce we had to new highs after that sort of 4% peak to trough pullback, and whether it puts us back into overstretch, overbought type levels?
You know, I've said repeatedly for the last many months, the path of least resistance for this money is up. Don't get in the way of massive liquidity. The only thing that will stop it is either a market accident, and we came close to one, or alternatively, the Fed losing control of yields on longer dated bonds. So keep these two things there. This is a rational bubble. It is a bubble. Prices are completely disconnected from fundamentals, but it is rational because there's so much liquidity being pumped in.
And Mohammed, just finally, in terms of valuations and opportunities, do you see the US as less attractive than certain international markets?
I do not. I think fading the US too early is a big mistake. Europe is going to have a lot more problems in terms of vaccinations and in terms of the economy. And the emerging world is still quite precarious in economic and payments terms. So you have to be very selective. But if you are buying an index, I certainly wouldn't fade the US in favor of the other jurisdictions right now.
We believe with the Bitcoin investment, Tesla does have an added advantage over its Chinese competitors. Companies like Nio simply don't have the luxury of owning Bitcoin in their balance sheet, and unless that changes sometime in the near future, we believe the difference could be massive for the years ahead. Especially for Nio, repeated share dilutions have been a major concern for some investors. And with some investment in an asset like Bitcoin, Nio could reduce the chance of needing more share dilutions in the future. However, one factor coming in the way of a company like Nio doing that could be the Chinese government. The Chinese government is not a fan of Bitcoin, and they are creating their own digital yuan as a competitor to Bitcoin. That said, we recently got news of some other Chinese companies investing in Bitcoin, and getting appreciated by shareholders for that. That means, technically, it is still possible for Nio to move some of its balance sheet into Bitcoin. We believe barring the Chinese regulatory fears, Nio may indeed consider doing that at some point in near future. Perhaps they'll feel more confident to do so once Nio turns profitable in one of the quarters this year.
Just look at a chart of Bitcoin. There's going to be great opportunities between now and 5 years to buy on dips, we believe. I have no idea where it's going to open. We were trying to figure that out ourselves today. We do believe, however, that it has miles to go because institutional interest in Bitcoin alone, which is the largest cryptocurrency out there, is, we think, going to add up to $500,000 to the price of Bitcoin. And when I say that, we've based this on a study focusing on what institutions are looking for. They're looking for low correlations of returns. This is a new asset class. So institutions are interested, they are moving in, and if they add up to 5% in their asset allocation to Bitcoin, that alone could be up to a $500,000 increase in the price. So we're at the very beginning of what we believe is going to be a long and exciting journey.